Well, hello there. It's me, Stu, here for you. And my goodness, we are back. Today, we are talking about why memberships and what makes a great membership. Now, we were supposed to get started a little bit earlier. I apologize. I was having technical difficulties. I don't know if you've ever had those moments when you are trying to get everything lined up. For whatever reason, things aren't working out as they should. So I had to do the old world famous reboot, and it magically has solved all the problems. But today, I want to be talking about what makes a great membership. David, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for jumping on. And if you're watching and listening live, I want you to let me know where you're watching and listening from. And I would love to get your thoughts as we participate here today. Linda says Mercury retrograde. I don't know what it is, Linda. I don't know what it is, but it was certainly having me sweat a little bit beforehand because I got the team pinging me. They're like, dude, you're supposed to be live. And I'm like, I know, I'm coming. I'm trying. We got to figure it out. So Linda's watching in from Atlanta, May from Egypt. Great to have you. David from Nashville. Iris, good to see you from New York City. Noah from Cincinnati, Ohio. Tazim from Vancouver. Shout out, just around the corner. Love it. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to dive in. I'm going to talk about what makes a great membership. Because in fact, yesterday, this came up in a conversation. I was participating on a Clubhouse discussion. And there were a number of follow-up questions that I was getting. And one of them, was, why do people sign up for memberships? And there's 100% a misconception about why people sign up for memberships. Many times people think it's because they're signing up to get a whole bunch of stuff, right? And that's not the case. In fact, that was the question yesterday, and I was responding to this person. I was saying, that's not why people sign up. And that's not what makes a great membership. And so that's what we're going to unpack here today is we're going to get to the nitty gritty of what does make a great membership. So there are three top reasons. There are many different reasons why people will sign up for a membership, but I'm going to give you the three top reasons, okay? Because at the end of the day, these are the things that I want you focused on. And I'm going to ask you, what market you're in, number one, and what of these reasons do you think people will be signing up for your membership? Or perhaps if you've already got a membership, what is the primary reason that people are going to sign up? Okay. Reason number one that somebody will sign up for your membership and what makes a great membership. Reason number one is it solves a problem. Okay. So people buy products and services, whether it be a membership or whether it be a physical product, a service, whatever it might be. People buy because they've got a problem and they want to get it solved, right? So if your membership helps solve a problem, particularly an ongoing problem, it's going to make for a great membership. So what would be an example of an ongoing problem? Well, a weight loss membership as an example. So Corinne Crabtree has a phenomenal weight loss membership, and it is a membership that is booming, right? She does a phenomenal job of serving thousands and thousands of women in particular, and she's helping them lose weight. Well, weight loss is a problem that's not going to get solved overnight. It's an ongoing problem, right? That she's continuously supporting and helping her members solve so that they get to their ideal weight. That's a good example of solving an ongoing problem. Another example of an ongoing problem. Let's say you got a dog that is wildly out of control, misbehaving. Well, it's not going to go from wildly out of control to the perfect puppy like that, right? That's an ongoing problem that is going to be solved. Another example would be a broken relationships. Again, you're not going to go from a messy, broken relationship to an amazing, intimate relationship like that. That's an ongoing problem that's getting solved. Okay. So number one, what makes a great membership is a membership that solves a problem. Number two is number two reason, or number two factor that makes a great membership is where you're helping people master a skill. Okay. So you'll see many, many different memberships fall into this category. For example, memberships around art, right? Our creative community inside of inside of Tribe, their memberships are booming. Like the creatives are on fire because they're teaching people skills, right? They're teaching people how to paint, how to draw, how to do calligraphy, how to make beautiful signs. They're decorative door hangers. Shout out to Tambra Bennett. But they're helping people develop a skill. Another example would be like musical instruments. You know, Levi Kajula's got a thriving membership that's teaching people how to play guitar, right? Tens of thousands of members in a membership where people are learning the skill of playing guitar. If you're in a market where you're teaching people about, you know, business as an example, that's about developing a skill, right? Or sport like karate as an example, developing a skill and mastering those skills. It takes time, right? Like, again, you're not going to go from not knowing how to paint to becoming the next Picasso like that. It takes time. That's perfectly suited for a membership site where people are not only learning what to do and how to do it, but they're mastering the skill of being able to implement it, okay? So number one is what makes a good membership is one that solves an ongoing problem. Number two is it's teaching people and supporting people in mastering a skill. Okay, third reason is that you're making something more convenient. So I want you to think about, like, you know, what your market is doing on an ongoing basis, and is there a way that you could support them in doing that, but easier and faster? So I'll give you a bunch of examples here. Paul Evans has a membership site where he helps youth ministers, and he helps them prepare for their Sunday service. Now, he used to, in his membership, provide a whole bunch of content where he was teaching people all the time, all these different things. But he sent out a survey to his members, and he asked, if we were to remove everything from the membership but one component, what would be that one component that you would want to keep? Which is a great question to ask, by the way. Now, the overwhelming majority of people responded with the same one thing, and that was a weekly done-for-you presentation. So what Paul was doing inside of his membership, one of the components was they would prepare a PowerPoint presentation that the youth ministers could take each week and make a couple tweaks and use it in their, you know, weekly sermon, so to speak. So they weren't interested in like all the content that he was creating around like how to be a better youth minister and all that kind of stuff. No. What the reason that they were really there was to get the convenience of having that presentation done for them so that they didn't have to spend hundreds of hours preparing, so to speak, because most youth ministers are doing it on a part-time basis. So they're working full-time and then they're preparing their, you know, presentation for the weekend. So they just don't have time. So what Paul was providing just with that one component was tremendous convenience. So Paul ended up stripping everything out of the membership and just focused on delivering that one component. That's a great example where he's creating a tremendous amount of convenience for people by providing them that one thing that they need each and every week. Another good example of this is Patty Palmer. So Patty Palmer has a membership where she provides art lessons for art teachers. So imagine this, and anybody watching and listening, you probably can relate if you've ever been a teacher. So much of teaching is in the prep work, right? Like preparing the lessons. Well, what Patty's done is she's just made that process so streamlined and easy for her members by literally giving them packages, so to speak, of art lessons. So the teachers don't have to do all the hard work behind the scenes of preparing these lessons. No. Patty's done that for them. They've just got to take that lesson and teach it. and do the very thing that they love doing most, which is teaching, right? So she's made it a heck of a lot more convenient by providing those lessons. Another example is Jasmine Star. So Jasmine Star has a booming membership where what she has done is she's made it easier for people to be able to create social media content. And the way in which she does that is she provides essentially a package of pre-built content, pictures and templates and ideas, so to speak, that people can use, make a couple tweaks, and bada bing, bada boom. They've got their social media content. So she's made that whole process so much easier and more convenient, which is why people continue to pay on a monthly basis. So those are some great examples of digital type memberships where, again, it's not so much that they're solving an ongoing problem. It's not so much that they're teaching a new skill or helping people master a skill, but what they are doing is they're making something a heck of a lot more convenient for people. And it's that convenience that people are paying for on an ongoing basis. So these are the three top reasons. Number one, you're helping solve an ongoing problem. That makes a great membership. If you're in a market where there's a problem that persists or exists, and you're helping people solve that problem, like weight loss, like bad relationships, like training a dog as an example. Those are all great examples of an ongoing problem that people want solved. And if you're helping people inside of your membership solve that ongoing problem, it's going to make for a great membership. Number two is where you're teaching people how to master a skill. If you're teaching people how to master a skill, that is a great topic for a membership. Again, there's so many examples of this, like learning different art, whether it's like learning to paint, learning to draw, learning calligraphy. Those are all great examples. Learning an instrument like music or drums or the flute or whatever it might be, or learning a skill like sports related, right? Whether it be volleyball or karate or soccer or basketball. It could be learning like something as it relates to in business, whether it be marketing or operations or whatever it might be, leadership, right? But it's helping people master a skill, and there's a journey to mastering that skill. And then the third that makes a great membership is when you make something more convenient. And we shared a bunch of examples, like Paul Evans, who has the membership that provides a done-for-you presentation for youth ministers each week. So they don't have to go and prepare and do all the work. No. They can literally just take Paul's done presentation, make a couple tweaks, and now they're off to the races, right? Or Patty Palmer's art lessons. The teachers don't have to do all the hard work and heavy lifting of preparing these art lessons. No. They can just literally get the lessons from Patty, again, make a couple tweaks if they need be, but they can focus more on teaching the lesson versus preparing the lesson. So lots of great examples of, providing more convenience for people, making something easier for people on a regular basis. So lots of different directions. Now, my question to you is, which bucket do you think your market or your membership would fall under? Is it number one, solve a problem? If so, put problem in the comments. Is it master a skill? If so, put skill in the comments. Or is it, do you make things more convenient? And if it's convenient, put convenience in the comments. So is it problem, skill, or convenience? Let me know. But all of which, if you say yes to either one of those, you're in a great place. This is what makes a great membership. It's not a membership doesn't become great just by loading people up with a whole bunch of content. In fact, that's probably one of the worst things that you could do, because a whole bunch of content leads to overwhelm. And that's the number one reason that people leave a membership. Okay, so I'm seeing, let me see here. Haruka says it solves a problem. Great. Love that. Matthias said skill and convenience. Awesome. Eric says skill. Excellent. And then I see Sophie, Kari, both said skill. Kristen says problem. Great. Awesome. Skill. Mary Lynch, good to see you, buddy. Mary says problem and skill. David Barrett says Barnett, sorry, says all three. Fascinating. Okay, awesome. So here's the thing, and I love how you guys are participating and contributing. Thank you so much. But this is the thing. Do you need all three of those? No. You just need one of those three. If you've got multiple, that makes for an even stronger, stickier membership. But bottom line is that memberships will thrive if it only meets one of those categories and buckets. So if it just meets one of those, you are in a perfect position to have a great membership that's going to last the test of time. So when you're evaluating your market, the question I want you to ask yourself is, number one, am I solving an ongoing problem? And if so, that's good news, because that makes a great membership. Or you might be ask yourself, am I teaching people how to master a skill? And if so, that's good news too. Or you might think about, can I provide something in a more convenient way for my audience? And if so, again, that makes for a great membership. So hopefully this begins to get the wheels turning for you. Lori says, I'm not sure. I want to help people create flagship content by live interviews. They can create video and audio clips and image quotes for all their special media. So Lori, by the sounds of that, I would just ask you, what are your, what are you going to be providing, or what are you thinking about providing inside of your membership? If you're helping them, so that you said, so they can create video and audio clips and image quotes for their special media. That sounds like you're helping them. You're creating something that's going to provide them more convenience, right? So instead of them having to create and think of all these things themselves, you're helping them do that from the interviews. But here's the thing, just providing interviews inside of a membership by itself is probably not going to last the test of time, because unless these interviews are helping people master a skill or solve an ongoing problem, right, then there's no reason for people to stay part of the membership, because people don't stay just because you're giving them a bunch of stuff. The stuff has to have purpose. And this is the ultimate thing that I want everybody thinking about, is that it's got to have purpose. It can't just be providing stuff for, stuff's sake. People are tired of, stuff. There's too much information. And what they're looking for is they're looking for somebody like you or I to kind of sift through all of the information that's readily available and provide it on a silver platter for them that makes their life easier. So we always got to remember this. We always got to remember that our job, your job, my job, is to make the lives of our members easier to either solve that ongoing problem, master that skill, or providing something in a more convenient way. So my friends, hopefully that has got the wheels turning for you. And hopefully you're starting to think about how to begin positioning your membership. Because by the way, once you get clear, whether it's solving an ongoing problem, helping people master a skill, or you're making something more convenient, once you get clear on what the primary reason why somebody is going to join, then it makes it so much easier from a marketing perspective to begin positioning what it is that you are doing and providing inside of your membership. Because yes, you could appeal to all the things, but what's the primary reason that somebody will join your membership? Get clear on that, and it makes your marketing so much sharper and more attractive for people to join your membership. All right, my friends, I hope you have a great day. Make it a great one, and we'll talk to you soon. Oh, by the way, forgot to tell you, if you would like to also have more questions like this, where I'm answering the top 10 questions that I get pretty much on a daily basis, what I want you to go to is Get Tribe Guide. If you haven't gone and downloaded that yet, I highly recommend you go and do so. It's a comprehensive guide where I'm answering the top 10 questions that I get about memberships, and I'm providing a whole bunch of different examples of real world memberships that complement, what it is that I'm sharing inside of there. So if you haven't gone and got that yet, go to gettribeguide.com, because in there I am providing it. Let me just see here. I think there it is. Gettribeguide.com. So it's a free download. It's packed with examples. It's packed with me answering top questions as it relates to membership sites. Super valuable resource. Go and grab that. And then the other thing that I was thinking about, my team and I were thinking about, is each week I plan to come back and deliver a Facebook live training or live training like this where I'm answering some of these top questions. Would it be useful if we, kind of compiled an area where you could simply come in and be able to see all of these trainings and search inside of these trainings? If so, let me know in the comments, because I think if there's enough response, we'll put the energy behind creating that. But in the meantime, go to gettribeguide.com, go grab that, and have yourself a great day. You're amazing. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.